I've spent over $1 million testing different ways to grow a business online, and some of those ideas sounded amazing on paper, but in reality, they were complicated, expensive, and just turned out to be a complete waste of time. And if you're just starting out, I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did, because after years of trial and error, I realized the right business strategy that has to do 4 things. It has to be simple, it has to feel good for your customers, it has to actually work, and most importantly, it has to make you money. The problem is there are hundreds of people online shouting that their way is the perfect strategy, and I fell for that so many times and lost time and money in the process. But after all of that, I finally found one approach that ticks all 4 boxes, plus it gives you 2 hidden advantages that most people never even talk about. So in this video, I'll save you a $1 million learning curve. I'll walk you through the strategies that don't work, the one that kind of works, and finally the one that actually does, and why it's the best way to start and grow your business right now. So firstly, something critically important that you need to understand is that we're here talking about business strategies, but one of the most pivotal challenges that you're going to face when trying to grow your business is actually marketing. So what we need to talk about are marketing strategies to help you find customers so that you can solve your business's biggest problems and actually grow. So as we go on a journey in this video to uncovering the best business strategy, we have to understand what we're trying to achieve. The most pivotal challenge that you will face when trying to grow your business is finding customers. So we need to discover the most effective and the most profitable and most repeatable way to find perfect customers for our business. And I've tried hundreds of different strategies, and there were 4 that really stood out, and we're going to talk about them right now. The first strategy is called the DM message strategy, and you can do this on any social media platform. It's particularly popular on Instagram and also on LinkedIn, but the same goes for other platforms where you can message potential prospects and have a conversation with them. And the way the strategy works, and in a moment I'll tell you why it's at the bottom of the pile and something that I do not recommend for you, is that you have these conversations on these social media platforms by sending someone a direct message or a personal message and trying to pique their interest in some way, shape or form with a message in their inbox that you hope they'll reply back to, and then you continue the conversation. Well, all of that is taking your manual time, and then you're leading that person to book a call on your calendar in the hopes that they might become a customer or a client. Now, there's a few serious problems with this strategy. The first is that you're sending, in one sense, unsolicited messages. These people have not asked for you to reach out to them, and so you're coming across a little bit spammy, scammy, and you're coming across pretty desperate. You're not portraying a business that has authority, positioning, and is professional. You are lowering your status before the conversation has even gotten started, which is a big problem. The second thing is that everything's manual, right? You're sending every single message yourself. And if you're using a tool or a platform that automatically sends messages for you and automates a lot of this process for you, then now it's impersonal. So you're either doing it manually or it's completely impersonal, and you'll be found out and people won't respond to the messages anyway. And the third thing is you're getting on the phone with these people and you haven't done enough work up front to warm them up to actually want the thing that you've got. So if you end up getting any of these people on the phone with you, you're actually speaking to people that aren't that serious and are probably going to be wasting your time. So that's one strategy online that's very popular. So now let's measure this funnel against the 4 criteria points we mentioned earlier. Is it simple? Well, yes, I suppose it gets a tick on that. It is simple. Does it feel good for the customer? Absolutely not. This is not a nice process. Does it actually work? No, I don't believe it does. It's overly saturated and you come across completely wrong. Look at my inbox right here and look at the sheer volume of messages I get every single day that I am ignoring, and that is how you would be ignored as well. And does it actually make money? Well, I don't believe it's going to make any meaningful money, and you certainly can't do it at scale, so it loses on that point as well. The second strategy is called a VSL, and this stands for a video sales letter, and the process is simple. You are driving traffic. T for traffic could be ads, could be social media, could be your content, whatever the case may be. You're sending that into a page where they're going to give you their email address. Then they're going to go to basically a video on a page where in that video you are going to be endeavoring to build some relationship with them, share with them who you are, what you're about, what you've got going on. And at the very end of that video, you're going to give them, similar to the above, the invitation to book a call with you. And of course, on that call, you're hoping that they might become a client. Now with this strategy, there's something it's doing really well, and then there's some things that it's kind of just completely missing the mark and it's not going to work for you overall. The thing it's doing really well is this piece here. Whatever strategy you use to grow your business, you need it to start with lead capture so that you can build a list and an audience of people that you can sell to again and again and again, because over time you're building more relationship with them and you're sending them more content and awesome stuff. However, where we send them next is the problem. Right here, when you send them straight to a video, there's only so long that video that can be before you lose someone's attention span. So typically with the VSL, this video is going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and unfortunately, that's not enough time to actually provide genuine value for the people watching it. So what you end up doing is coming across pretty salesy, no relationship is really being built, or certainly not meaningful relationship. And so similar to up here, you might find you're getting some people booking these calls, but they are not high quality people, and it was your fault. You didn't build enough relationship or value proposition in that time that you had. And this is only getting worse, by the way. I still see a lot of people out there trying to make this work. I still see a lot of online coaching gurus still peddling this method and teaching this strategy, but it is getting diminishing returns with every week that goes by right now as people's attention span is just dropping considerably. So this is not a strategy that I would recommend. And of course, if we measure it against our 4 criteria, is it simple? Well, in the grand scheme of things, it is actually still a pretty simple funnel. So we'll give it a tick on that. Does it feel good for the viewer, for the potential client? No, it does not. Nothing in this process makes them feel good. It's all about what you're trying to achieve. Number 3, does it actually work? Well, I'm going to give it a half point on this because we've got a mechanism at the front that is doing a good function for the strategy, but then we're falling down over here. And finally, does it actually make money? Well, surprisingly, I'm going to give this a tick because you might be able to make this work and make enough money like some of these online marketing gurus, but you do not understand how much goes behind the scenes to make that happen. A massive team, massive ad budget, because you need so many people to come through this to just find the few clients. So can it make money? Yes, but it's going to be a really hard way of making that happen. So that leaves us with 2 other potential options. And the third strategy, and here's one I prepared earlier, is called a challenge funnel. And the premise behind this is similar. We're driving traffic. We're sending that into a registration page to register for a live online challenge. Now, you send them into a confirmation page where you need to have some information about the challenge and the links and how to get on it. There's a whole bunch of email automations. You might have some pre-challenge work that you send them to. You're also typically going to attach some kind of community to this. So it might be a Facebook group or a school group where they're able to interact with other people that are participating in the challenge. Then you've got 5 days of the challenge, perhaps. Some people do 7 days, some people do 21 days, but let's just work with a 5-day challenge. You've got to make sure that you get as many of these people that registered to attend day 1, but you've also got to make sure that you get the attendance all the way through and have people returning from day 1 all the way to day 5. And again, at the end of the challenge, we're then, just like the others, trying to offer our products and services and hope that people sign up. That is a challenge funnel. Now, this strategy actually wins on 3 out of the 4 criteria for the right business strategy for us. So let's focus on the ones that it does well first. Does it feel good to the customers? Yes, it does. They're registering for a process where you're going to give them an abundance of value over an extended period of time before you ask them for the sale. So yes, it wins on that. It also gets a tick and wins on it actually working. I've tried challenge funnels and I have many of my clients that have tested out and tried challenge funnels, and it does indeed work in the sense that we're getting customers and clients out the other end. Does it make money? It gets that tick as well. You can actually extract some nice customer or client revenue out the other end of this. So it's sounding good so far. Where does it fall down? Well, it is everything but simple. This strategy is very, very far from where you should start. It is insanely complicated. It takes a whole host of tech. You've got multiple programs you're trying to link together. You've got to prepare a massive amount of content. You're trying to make sure that you're doing all the right things to persuade people to come back each day. It's a lot of work. It's really complicated. Lots of things can break and lots of things can go wrong. So ladies and gentlemen, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with the fourth and final and perfect way to generate customers and the right strategy for your business. And it's this right here. Upon first look, it looks pretty simple and similar to the others, but there's a very critical difference that makes this what it is. The process starts by driving online traffic into our funnel, where we need that regardless. We've got what was a green tick earlier. We are starting the process by capturing an email address so that we can build our email list and make more sales over time. But the question is, what are they registering for? Why are they giving us their email? Well, it's to register for a webinar presentation. Now, we have found in our testing and millions in revenue generated that when people register for a webinar over registering for anything else online, a VSL, a lead magnet, or anything other, the leads are significantly more valuable. What does that mean? It means that when someone registers for a webinar, they register with intent. They're not just looking for instant gratification, like opting in for a lead magnet. They actually want to attend that training because they like the sound of the topic of the webinar. So you end up filling your marketing funnel with really good prospects that are genuinely interested in taking the next step with you. And then of course we have the webinar presentation itself. From start to finish, it doesn't have to be necessarily any more than 40 minutes. In our testing, they can get a little bit longer, but this is bridging the gap before we invite them to book a call with us. The problem with some of the other strategies was that you were getting people booking calls with you, but they were low quality people or they weren't very serious. The webinar does the disqualifying for you. It makes sure that the right people get to the very end that have enjoyed your presentation, and only those people get the invitation to book a call. It's like having an automated marketing machine that is doing all the heavy lifting for you and is qualifying and disqualifying everyone that comes into your business, and you only speak to the creme de la creme, the best, hottest, most ready to buy clients. So let's now measure this against the 4 criteria. Is it simple? Yes, there are very few moving parts, and even brand new beginners are able to build a webinar funnel pretty quickly. Secondly, does it feel good to the customer? Absolutely. You are providing them with a whole bunch of value in a webinar presentation before the sales process actually kicks in. Does it work? Without a doubt. We've been using this for years now. It's rock solid. And even with all of the waves in our industry of things that work and then stop working and work and then stop working, this has stood the test of time. And finally, does it make money? Well, I've generated at this point over $40 million online, and webinars have been the foundation of that for my business. We've also taught this to countless clients now, and they have reported 122 million in revenue attributed to what they learned from us. So yes, I think it works, and I think it works very, very well and makes a lot of money. And I mentioned at the beginning of this video 2 bonus reasons why this perfect funnel is, in fact, the perfect funnel. And the first is that when you get people on the phone, they have already had all of the information from you that they could possibly need to predetermine if they want to buy what it is that you have. So when you get on the phone with these people, you're not having to necessarily sell them. They're already sold on working with you. In fact, in some cases, webinar leads, when they get on the phone with you, they're selling themselves to you, which is a fantastic feeling. And the second thing, and this is unbelievable, is that with webinars, you can start by doing them live. So you can have a live audience, you can practice, you can get better at it, and you can do one presentation to 100 people, 1,000 people. But what happens when you find that perfect presentation and now you want your business to run on autopilot while you're on holiday? Well, you can now do that. You can ditch the live and you can turn this into an automated webinar that runs 24/7. It's like you, the best salesperson in your business, constantly finding you high quality prospects and getting them on your calendar ready to buy. But the success of this strategy hinges on your ability to put this webinar presentation together perfectly. And that's where I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help you for free. I've got this resource that I give to my clients that literally walks you through exactly what to say and do all the way through your webinar to turn someone from icy cold to red hot, ready to buy your most expensive programs. It's my free gift to you. Link in the description box. Click the link, tell me where to send it, I'll get it straight over to you. And if you want to continue your education right now, then check out this video right here where I walk you through this framework so you know exactly how to use it, and I hope that helps you. I'll see you in the next video.